My name is Erica Mahinay. I was born in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I have been based in Los Angeles for 10 years now. Prior to that, I went to undergrad at the Kansas City Art Institute and then grad school at Cranbrook Academy of Art. And both of those programs really emphasize making as integral to thinking through the framework behind your practice. So I came out of both of those programs incorporating a lot of different materials, and fast forward 10 years, I make both painting and sculpture, and I'm kind of constantly introducing new materials into my practice. Growing up, my mom, she started as an emergency room nurse and then she became a psychiatric nurse practitioner. And in Santa Fe, she always had an interest in alternative medicine and kind of mind-body practices, mind-body awareness practices. She was really interested in Zen meditation and shamanic practices, and this sort of seeped into my thinking early on and then continued as she went into the psychiatric field and sort of shared that knowledge with me. So I think the work is rooted in always kind of considering our relationship to our bodies and the world outside of ourselves and how we process that and use our experience to form identity, and then the agency that we have in shaping ourselves in the world. So I think that's like what's driving the work. How it's translated is maybe indirect. I think it happens through material, especially in the paintings. The recent paintings that I'm making for T293, it's a return to oil painting for the first time since like my formal education. And it's a layering up of paint in this way that it begins with a very traditional underpainting of like burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw umber, these colors that are sourced from the earth, and the regions are named after the regions that they come from, and then they're layered with white to create an optical color mixing effect where like a bright orangey brown becomes a pink, or a deep dark brown becomes a blue. And these were originally used to create skin tone economically or to establish light and shadow. So I'm creating these gestural paintings that at first glance might seem connected to like the history of Abex painting, or and are connected to artists like Carolee Schneemann or Anna Mendieta, and like this history of making a mark on a surface in this act of celebration or catharsis in reference to the body. But because I'm using this this tradition of layering up an underpainting and then building off of it, there's this almost an illusionistic space that kind of simultaneously occurs with the more gestural mark making. And for me, this I guess this translates some of my interests in that the underpainting is the foundation, and then every move from there is a response to that. And it's a painting process that's additive and subtractive. So there's a constant undoing and redoing and shifting. And I guess I parallel this to how we form identity and how we shape our experience in the world. Yeah, I think because I spent so long working with all these different kinds of materials, I started to establish a language that's translated in a really surprising and exciting way for me with these more straightforward oil on linen paintings. There's this like sense of emergence that they're taking on, that like a mark just really changes the entire painting. Each painting has the same foundation but goes in a wildly different direction, and I'm finding that I'm kind of along for the ride.